Boys and Girls Club of Dane County has put together some audacious goals, and it is starting by calling together some hearts to help. We'll talk about it this morning on For the Record. Good morning, I'm Neil Heinen. The last several years has seen the growth and strengthening of some of Dane County's foundational organizations, and one of those is the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County. The Boys and Girls Club is on firmer ground than it has ever been, and it is seeing significant accomplishments. And it is poised to embark on a campaign that will have a profound impact on our community. You'll hear a variety of perspectives this morning as I welcome to For the Record Boys and Girls Club President and CEO Michael Johnson, Club Education Director Nathan Beck, and Board of Directors member Annette Miller, who is also the Emerging Markets and Development Director for MG&E. Thank you all very much for joining me. Michael, welcome back. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Bring us up to date, just kind of from then, the last time you were on this show till now, in terms of the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, I think we have taken a tremendous transformation. Our clubs has a very strong presence in the schools. We're serving about 3,000 kids all across Dane County. And we've been very fortunate that every time we have asked this community to step up to invest in the lives of our young people, this community has stepped up. So whether you look at the new vans that we purchased to pick up kids from 18 different schools every day, it was this community that stepped up to get our kids those vans. When we wanted to renovate every single room inside of our Boys and Girls Club, it was this community that stepped up to renovate our arts and crafts room, to give our kids a new gym floor, new computers, a new art lab, a new $300,000 music studio that we just put in. We also decided that over the last year, we met with about 400 people, and we hired a firm to meet with elected officials, to our donors, to our parents, to our kids, to talk about what's the new strategic direction for Boys and Girls Club and how do we invest in kids' lives. And what we heard from people is that Boys and Girls Club was positioned to really transform and to open up doors for young people all across this community. So our board, our staff, and our stakeholders decided that we're going to ensure that 90% of all Boys and Girls Club kids not only graduate from high school, but they receive some sort of post-secondary education. That's our big, hairy, audacious goal.
Hence the word audacious,
Yep.
which I used, which came right from you.
Yep.
If I see Annette Miller on a board, I think it's a serious board. And so I'd like your perspective, Annette, from you and your colleagues on the board. How, as a board, you're looking at these goals as Michael just described them.
Well, we're really excited about the strategic plan and the strategic goals. I think all of us who serve on the board and, under the leadership of Chris Fortune being the board president, we want to make a difference in our community, and we definitely want to make a difference on the achievement gap. We want to make sure that the foundation of our kids in terms of having a safe place and space to be at after school, but also get good core educational wraparound services as a part of their experience with the Boys and Girls Club is extremely important. And I think that as a board of director and speaking for the other board of directors, we're really excited with this direction and with this hairy, audacious goal and with the leadership that Michael and his staff are providing to our community. And Michael's right, our community has been so responsive.
Yeah.
We, as board of directors, our job is to make sure that we do our due diligence, that resources and programming and our CEO are doing the right things for the community. But it's really the community that has said, we believe in the Boys and Girls Club. We believe in it so much, we're putting our dollars on the table to make sure that the goals that the Boys and Girls Club have will come to fruition, and so that's powerful.
And seriously, I mean, the amount of time that you've committed to the Urban League Board of Directors as a leader on that board, that would suggest to me that you see very complementary functions here.
Absolutely. The Urban League is about advocacy and policy as well as programming, but I think the Boys and Girls Club is down on the ground through, a wonderful person like Nathan, working with our kids every day. And I really wanted an opportunity to serve on a board where I could get so much closer to the kids and really get to see what does the programming look like? How do the dollars really affect what happens to our kids in Madison and Dane County.
Yep.
And so it's been a great experience so far.
I just, that was part of what I referenced in my open is that both organizations, along with Central Hispano, they're just really on firmer ground than they have been in the past and are taking a much more active role in leading the direction of this community.
We got to look at, we can't really transform these kids' lives by just serving them during after school time. We have to serve these kids before school, after school, during school, and on weekends. So part of our plan is going to be simple. We want more volunteers. We need more community partners. We're going to do whatever is necessary to make sure that we get the resources that these kids need so they can have a great future. And when there's a kid that's living in our community, they can't read, they can't write, and they're not inspired to do something great, there's something wrong with that picture. And so on one hand, I'm very excited, but on another hand, it's going to really push us to do something very different in terms of how we provide services for kids. And I got to thank, Mary Burke was very instrumental. As you know, she chaired our board for 10 years, and she put a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of her resources. And when she first recruited me here through a firm called QTI, she said, Mike, can we just focus on education? Can we look at doing more work in the schools? And when you look at our Avid Tops program, we're the only Boys and Girls Club in the United States that run a program in collaboration with our teachers. We're in the classrooms with them. We provide tutors. We have this world-class assessment that's done by UW. So when somebody say, can Boys and Girls Club really graduate 90% of our kids? I'm going to say yes. And that bar, when you talk about graduation rates, I'm not talking to my son about graduating from high school. I'm talking to my son about graduating from college and talking about a career, and that's what we need to be talking to our kids about, and that's what our plan is about.
And that's the really exciting thing about working for an agency like Boys and Girls Club and watching this shift. Because the foundation is definitely providing a safe space for all young people, but we have such a greater responsibility living in our community right now. So the exciting thing is how we're leveraging school resources and school programming, but also adding on our expertise. We're bringing in different kind of skill sets, working together with schools, and we already have, through Avid Tops, through College Club, through programming in Verona High School, we've already demonstrated that yes, these may be audacious goals, but we're already meeting some of the indicators. We're already improving GPA, attendance, math, and reading grades.
Nathan, just describe your job, would you? Just as we've listened to Annette and Michael here, I can't imagine a bigger title than Education Director for the Boys and Girls Club.
Well, the thing is we have an incredible team, incredible staff at all levels of our organization that are just really dedicated professionals. So I have the privilege of working with them in 6 different locations, in several different schools and different clubs, really working to problem solve how can we work to increase achievement in Dane County. I also have the privilege of working with incredible, passionate administrators and teachers in the community that are really a source of inspiration for me to want to do my job better.
And if I can add this, Nate is so respected. Nate is flying down to Washington, D.C. with the superintendent of Verona, the assistant superintendent of Madison, and they're meeting with the Department of Education at high level, some of the undersecretaries and assistant secretaries, and it was Nate who set all of that up.
I want to talk more about education. We're also going to talk about the money that's going to fund this effort when we come back right after this. Hearts for Helping is the kickoff event to the campaign to raise $15 million. We're going to talk a little bit more about it in a second, and we will again remind you before the end of the show where you can get tickets and how you can attend Hearts for Helping for the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County. And my guest this morning, Michael Johnson, the president and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club, Nathan Beck, who is the education director for the Boys and Girls Club, and Annette Miller, yes, she's on this board as well, a member of the board of directors for the Boys and Girls Club. Nathan, before the break, you were talking about 6 locations. I just want to be clear physically where the Boys and Girls Club is. Most people are going to know the 2 standalone facilities.
Yeah, so that's a great question. We've got full-time staff in all 4 Madison high schools that are there during the school day and you know, generally before and after as well. We've got a full-time staff and a whole team at Verona Area High School also doing programming. In addition to that, we have 2 middle school locations where we have full-time staff again, and we've also just started recently programming at an elementary in Verona at Stony Prairie Elementary. So those all school-based locations are in addition to our 2 club-based locations.
And the idea of it being in all 4 high schools, this complements Avid Tops.
Absolutely,
Yep.
absolutely. We wanted, like 2 years ago, we were in one school, it was East. And so we decided we wanted to expand that program to all 4 high schools across the city. So next year we'll be up to 800 kids that'll be in that program. And what we decided to do, we asked the community to invest in this program because we wanted to make sure that our kids was graduating and going to college. So on March 4th, we're actually going to be doing a presentation to the school district. We do this world-class assessment, and we have seen that our kids are performing. And so we want to use these assessments, whether it's Avid Tops, College Club. We want to make sure that we can connect with these kids during school, after school, during the weekend, and that's the spirit of our campaign. We want to connect these kids with adults. We want to work with teachers in the classrooms. We also want to make sure that we can inspire these kids to career opportunities, because every kid may not go to college, but we want every kid to be prepared for college.
Michael, who are these kids? You keep saying our kids. Who are our kids?
I refer to the Boys and Girls Club kids. They're like my extended family, but they're Boys and Girls Club members. And when I think of kids in our community, they're our community kids. And so we have to make sure that the kids that's in our schools, that we're investing in them, that we're supporting our teachers. Our teachers that's in this Avid Tops program, they're getting it done. And we got to figure out a way to solve it. So whether it's working with United Way or the Urban League or Central Hispano, there's about 50 different groups that we partner with. We got to figure out a way to close this achievement gap.
Are these primarily lower income kids?
Yeah, 54% of the kids that come to Boys and Girls Club are African American kids, 20% are Latino, and over 80% are low income kids.
I'm glad you mentioned the achievement gap. That's a subject for another show, but it just seems to me that more and more people are going to recognize this as an approach to the achievement gap.
Yeah, our program won't be the single bullet that'll get it done, but the reality is if we can get 10,000 kids to graduate from high school and receive a post-secondary education, we're going to improve the economy in this community. We're going to save taxpayers dollars because these kids will be in college, they'll be working, they'll be productive citizens, and we're going to do everything that's necessary to raise the resources to make sure that our kids are going to be successful. And somebody may say, well, why Boys and Girls Clubs? We're not new at doing this work. We've been in the schools for more than 5 years, and we have staff that's in the schools. Our programs are supported by world-class assessments. We partner with so many agencies in this community that we feel that we're poised to work with other community organizations to get this work done.
Annette, I'll ask Michael for some of the details, but a $15 million campaign doesn't happen without a board being very committed to it and comfortable with that goal.
Absolutely, and I will tell you that when Michael announced it, eyebrows sort of rose quite high. But the other part of that,
when he came to the board and said, "I'd like to do this,"
yeah, we were like, okay, that's a big number. But I think what really got the board motivated is that the time is now. And we can't wait. There's a gap. There's all kinds of gaps. And, achievement gap, I know it takes people to a certain place in space, but it's more than that. These are individual people. These are our children. And we've got to start closing that gap. And we're already behind. And so you can't say $15,000. You can't even say $1 million. You have to say $15 million because you need significant resources to really turn this ship around so that we can start making a difference for our kids today, tomorrow, and in the future.
Yeah, and the thing to add on to both of those points is we're not having to create a new program that is going to work. We already have existing programs that are already serving young people in Dane County that are increasing GPA rates. You know, the Avatops program does a world-class assessment with Wiscape that shows that GPAs are higher than a control group. In our Verona College Club program, our juniors increased GPAs by 0.6 points in 1 year of programming. So it's not a matter of creating something new, it's just a matter of scaling up for us.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to talk about where we're going to find the hearts for helping with this when we come back right after this. So we're talking about raising $15 million for the Boys and Girls Club for, among others, some very audacious education goals. And the kickoff event is Friday, February 22nd, called Hearts for Helping. It's at the Madison Concourse Hotel. Looks like it's going to be fancy, which it should be. And there are tickets available, but take my word for it, there are not a lot of tickets available. It sounds like ticket sales have been going pretty well. Just describe the event, Michael, and what you hope to accomplish on Friday.
So Annette is actually one of our honorary chairs. I'm going to share a few pieces about it. We're going to kick off the campaign at that event. The National President for Boys and Girls Clubs of America, Jim Clark, will be joining us. Ruben Studdard, who won American Idol, was going to perform.
A little bit of star power coming in.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
He was a Boys and Girls Club kid. Jackie Joyner-Kersee, who I think is one of the best female athletes in American history, won 6 gold medals. She grew up in a Boys and Girls Club. She's going to be joining us. Al Toon, Nick Toon, his son, who plays for the New Orleans Saints, is going to join us. And the goal that night is to share our strategic plan and to raise funds to support our local kids. So it's going to be a phenomenal event. Annette has chaired this event. Chris Fortune, who's our board chair, started this program or this event 4 years ago, and it has just grown. So as of today, we have about 500, I think it's 553 people registered. We'll sell out at 700, and I think by next week, this event will be sold out.
Yeah.
Right.
And you've got some exciting things to announce. We're not going to spill any beans here, but the fact of the matter is that there is a foundation already set.
There is a foundation already set, and you know, really, I have to give props to Chris Fortune because he started this
From Sarah Cycle
in his office.
Yep.
You know, he was telling us how it started in his office, and now there's a wonderful team. I'm certainly not by myself. Kelly Golden and I both co-chair the silent auction part, and you know, the reason this event is really important, and we have it designed to be star-studded, is because it's a way to really thank our donors, to have a really exciting, fun event where there's lots of interesting things to see, to hear, to bid on, but really just to also make it fun and engaging while people are giving for an important group in our community, which is our kids. And the purpose of Hearts for Helping is to support our summer programming that we do every year, making sure that we close the gap between when school ends and when school starts. And that's huge. I mean, the data is already out there about what happens when kids are not staying connected.
So the proceeds from ticket sales go to that specific program.
Right.
Yes.
And then you're going to announce the bigger campaign.
Right, exactly. But you know, some things that we have, we've got some Badger tailgate packages that we have on silent auction. We've got some overnight stays in Chicago and Milwaukee. We've got a wonderful diamond that is going to be hidden. And people have an opportunity to get a very valuable diamond.
And that diamond was donated.
It was donated by Diamond Direct, and there's just so much more. Kelly and I have had a great time along.
Fiskars donated some stuff, right?
Yes, yes. I mean, there's just really cool stuff, really fun stuff. I think as people are opening up their wallets, they're going to have a great time. We've designed the experience to be very fun and entertaining, and again, it's for our kids, and we're really excited about it.
I want somebody just to speak to this briefly, and maybe you're the one, Nathan. The relationship between the Boys and Girls Club and the school district is kind of unique.
Definitely.
And it seems like everything that you're doing, this school board kind of approves and is a partner in.
Definitely, and that's the only way we're able to really make this kind of difference is by working with partners, and not just the school district, but with other partners. But our primary partner is the school district. We've got a great relationship with them. We see ourselves as not wanting to replicate what they do and not wanting to become another school district, but really come alongside and really enhance and support the work that they're already doing. And again, like I said earlier, leveraging their experience with ours, I think there's something exciting when you can leverage the two different sets of experience to support young people.
Absolutely.
Michael, how does this mirror national efforts by Boys and Girls Club, just in terms of their focus as an organization?
Yeah, I think we're very unique here in Madison. I mean, we were named one of the top 5 Boys and Girls Clubs in the country around financial literacy. And I just want to say just kudos to our teachers. Our teachers, we work very closely with them. Our staff, they have site team meetings. Our coordinators meet on a weekly basis. Then we meet with the administration on a quarterly basis. And so I think we are ahead of the curve compared to other Boys and Girls Clubs across the country. And I think that's why our national CEO is coming. In fact, our National Education Director spent her first day here in Madison, Wisconsin, looking at the work that we're doing for kids in this community. And then, Neil, when you think about this multi-year $15 million goal that we want to raise, we're going to do it in a variety of different ways. So that night, we're going to announce the largest retail campaign in the history of Boys and Girls Clubs of Dane County, and also one of the largest retail campaigns in the history of Boys and Girls Clubs of America. So we're going to look at our approach to philanthropy is going to look very different, and it's going to be an effort that's going to coordinate resources directly towards kids, and I'm very confident that this community once again will step up to invest in our kids.
When do you want to get this done?
In 5 years, it'll be
5
done.
years, $15 million over 5 years.
Yeah. Now we have said 6. I want it done in 5.
That sounds just like you, Michael. Doesn't that sound familiar?
It does. It does.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm just going to direct your attention to the website for more details about the event coming up on Friday the 22nd. Tickets are available, and you can go to the website to find out how to get them. Heartsforhelping.org is the name of the website. And we're going to come back and wrap up For the Record right after this. My thanks to all my guests for being here this morning. We're back next Sunday talking about the Parent Addiction Network of Dane County. That's a support group for families of people battling drug addiction. Have a good week. We'll see you next Sunday.